Predict Madison Mogen's untimely and tragic death based on her solar return chart? The answer is yes. Madison Mogen, a student from the University of Idaho, was starting a new period based on her solar return chart, the picture of the sky on her 2022 birth date and time. Her ascendant for the year 2022 was Virgo. Maddie's chart ruler for the year reveals there were two big problems. The first, Mercury, the ruler of Virgo, was retrograde. This can show disappointment in the year ahead and not being in control in the current environment. You can also see a clear indicator of her month of death, which Val explains later. The second problem involves a person or people who can see her and wish her ill will. Can you see it? The ruler of the 12th house of hidden enemies in the 10th house of the public is revealing. Here's more about Maddie's solar return chart from Val.
And hello and welcome to Astrology and Crime. I'm astrologer Val Evans. Tonight we take a closer look at University of Idaho student Maddie Mogen's astrological charts. And this is including her solar return chart of 2022, the year of her murder. You'll also gain an understanding of how to read your own solar return chart to make month-by-month predictions for yourself. So to get started, you're going to oh, and by the way, this is Forensic Astrology 101 on Amazon, but you're going to go to AstroSeek and pull up your birth chart, and you're going to see Solar Return 2023. In this case, we would click on 2022 because it would be the year of Maddie's birthday starting in May. So the Solar Return goes, in her case, from May to May. And so that's where it is. You click on that, and then you just click on the solar only tab. So, and just make sure that you have on the day of your birthday for that year, just tap in or put in that information. If she was in her hometown, it wouldn't have made too much of a difference that year. So I double check that. And here we go. We're going to touch on some parts of the birth chart for Madison Mogen. And first of all, I want to say hello to everyone. Marion's in here. Good to see you again. Toy, thanks for doing this redo with me. I hope the audio is a little bit better this time. And if I gloss over something and you want to take a look at it more, just let me know. Hello, Jill, Angel D, Confused Glacier. Good to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. E. De Silva and Losing Brain Cells, of course. Okay, so I'm going to go and just actually expand this. And let's see here. Okay, so you put in the city, and we're actually looking at her birth chart. So this is, I believe she is an ascendant in Leo. And I want to welcome everyone, by the way. Thanks to all of my valedictorians and subscribers who showed up, and of course the late crew, and of course new visitors. So I hope you can catch me live tomorrow at 5 Eastern. I'm going to review Brian Koberger's solar return chart for his prediction. So it's going to be a little bit different than the last one we did. So, and if you're curious about this channel, we use timestamps to draw a picture of the sky, which often gives us important clues in crime. So you just need to know how to decode it or decode the sky. And thanks for hitting the like button and subscribing. So let's get started. We'll start with her birth chart, and there are quite a few main things here that I'm seeing. And of course, I think that she is a Leo rising, usually someone with the name of Madison, someone with a name, first or last name with Sun, S-O-N. It's a Leo name. And of course, she looks like a Leo, which is blonde hair. Sometimes it can be reddish blonde. It usually means a lot of hair. So that's the first thing. Now, you see some stelliums here, and this is a big deal, and we're going to go over that. First of all, I want to talk a little bit more about Leo, and that's somebody who just loves the spotlight And the spotlight loves the person. That's where that person belongs. It represents cats and mountains and all sorts of things that have to do with the sun and families, sports. You're going to see a lot of sports lovers who have Leo. It's interesting. I would say it's something I just started thinking about with my Leo clients. I've often had to talk with them about jealousy, where people are jealous of them. So that Scorpio taps in somehow with that Leo. That's my theory, which I think potentially could have happened behind the scenes with Madison. I think a big clue is part of fortune in Virgo. Virgo means clothing and it also means places of work. So work for her, I think, is significant. That's one thing. And why? Because when you look at a birth chart and you see a T square, then you want to look at the apex to see what the problem is. This is the problem. Somebody, perhaps at work, I don't know, but 18 degrees is the evil degree. So I don't like that in her birth chart. There's also the opposition to Black Moon Lilith conjunct Uranus, which can mean an evil surprise, an evil shock, because Black Moon Lilith, being someone who is dark, 20 degrees can be a Scorpio degree. So you're talking about murder right there. 8 degrees, another murder degree. And in Neptune, Neptune can show video online, Aquarius. So much Aquarius in her chart. She was fated to be on the internet. Also, she was probably a visionary in her own right. When you have a lot of planets in Aquarius, it's pretty significant. So, yes, Cheryl, I agree. Angel D. I'm always scared looking at my solar return chart because I always see something that I think means I'm going to die. I know it can be a little bit daunting. I've had a couple of those in past years, and that's how you get over that fear. You look at your past solar return charts and see. I remember I had a North Node it was right on Algol just a couple of years ago, and I was a little nervous. Angel, nice to see you. Everything is great, much better now. Hello, Patricia Jean. Kathleen is here. And let's see. All right, so we've got a couple of things down in her birth chart that are intriguing. This area right here with the stellium. I mean, this is pretty significant here. And her sun, okay, so that's going to be what she looks like. So she might be smaller in frame because of Mercury. This is her appearance that we're going to be seeing. And we might always see her with her friends. That's how she would appear to at least the public. And notice how she has, usually I would look at the sun, I would look at Leo, and I get a little bit confused because the sun, automatically she's blonde hair, but with the sun exactly at 4 degrees on her sun, that can show darker hair. So I wasn't sure what to think about that. There must be some way that Saturn is affecting her. Obviously, it is, the Grim Reaper planet, but look at how it trines Neptune. That's going to show the color of her eyes. Her eyes are an aqua color. So I thought that was so interesting. And sometimes, like with Taylor Swift, she has a lot of Capricornian energy and has a lot of the same aspects with Neptune and Saturn. And she has very peculiar eyes with dark eyes. Okay, I'm not going to do this again. All right, so I thought that was pretty interesting. Now I want to go on to, now that we've got kind of the basics, she's a Leo ascendant, she's the sun in Gemini, so she must love communications. That's what she would be known for. Imagine how many texts that she made to her friends, how many letters that she, made into words that would become famous, that the entire world would see. So that's what I think of when I think of a stellium, especially in Gemini. And Gemini is also transportation, which would come into play here because we would be talking about a car and involving her case. So I hope that makes sense. Now I'm going to go to another chart, which you're going to think is kind of wild. But I was editing my book on careers and I was looking at job charts today. And it's pretty wild. I found one that is very close to, of course, not the same scenario, but well, hello, nice to see you. Penny here. Penny is here. Toy, yes, there you go. And I'm going to turn to it now. Pat Tillman. When he walked in, of course, it was Mercury retrograde. He signed up for the army. And what did he sign up as? What did he become? He went from a sports hero to an army ranger. Ring a bell? So think about that. And all right. So Pat Tillman, he was a former football star for Arizona. He was enlisted in the army in 2002. And this was when Maddie was 1 year old. Now, Leos are heroes. They're seen in the spotlight, like I said, and can represent family, sons, even sex kittens, like Marilyn Monroe. She has Leo, so she was known as the sex kitten. Sex, of course, and mountains. And the name of Tillman's assignment was Operation Mountain Storm in southeastern Afghanistan, part of the U.S. campaign against Al Qaeda. So in both Maddie and Tillman's chart, Saturn is in Gemini. And so that means to stop talking or stop using some kind of communications or stop driving. So Tillman was killed by friendly fire, 11th house, friends, when his vehicle was mistaken as an enemy. So it was friendly fire, 11th house. So this assignment, as I said, started during Mercury retrograde, and Tillman, the name Tillman, it doesn't really come off here because it's not his birth chart, but Tillman is a Taurus name. Till means money. So now many people have Saturn in Gemini, like Madison or Maddie, but this would sadly signify for both charts the end of a future. You can also see that North Node there is at 18 degrees, the devil degree. So I believe, I don't really think that this has been reported. It's my personal opinion, but I think there was some jealousy towards him. That's all I'm going to say. Usually something that Leos would have to deal with. And so there you go. All right, so keep that in mind because we're going to go forward. I'm going to touch on the progress chart and we're going to go to the solar return. And you might recall continually those clues from Tillman's job chart. That's what I would call it, the job chart or the event chart when he started something. And of course, his car broke down or his vehicle broke down. He went to fix it. And that's when he was killed. Mistaken identity. Okay, so this is Madison's progressed chart. Notice that she's suddenly Virgo. In the progressed chart, you're only going to go through your ascendant, maybe a few zodiac signs because they're between 15 and 20 years you're going to be in them. So she had just come out of Leo, and in the past few years I'm sure she was treated like a queen because she was just hitting that Regulus degree, which means princess. Now, with the ascendant in the first couple of degrees, this shows a new environment, a new feeling. It is, you're kind of shedding your skin. And it's in Virgo. Remember, we saw that in her birth chart. Virgo is, it's something's being activated with that Virgo. So I just want to make sure you guys can see that. And all right. Oh, Heather, you're in here. That's great. Okay, Angel, what are you saying? I know he was. He really was. Okay, anyone in chat, what does it mean if your ascendant on solar return is 26 degrees in Taurus? Well, I will tell you, it is difficult. And some people have their birth chart, their sun is in, on Algol. Occasionally, it will mean that you lose your head, you get crazy, or you might feel more obsessed about something. If you're online shopping, you're going to get 6 white blouses instead of 2. It's just things are a little bit more intense. And it can show, it depends on if it's affecting your 6th house at all, but sometimes it can mean you've got neck problems, or anything with the neck to maybe the nose area. So it can be very difficult, but it depends on the aspects. So I hope you guys can hear me okay. I'm going to double check. Yeah, because the last time it didn't work so well. I know, Heather, I know. You'll have to tell us what your experience is with Algol. A relative of mine has sun on Algol, and she had an aneurysm at 11 years old. Not to scare anybody, but that would be, she had a lot of, and she survived, but she has a lot of planets in the 12th, and it also affected her 6th. A lot of bad aspects to the 6th house. So it's really a combination. Okay. Now, if you are looking at your progressed chart and your ascendant is just coming into the first few degrees of a new sign, this can be very good, especially if you've had a long phase of disappointment, or you're just tired, you just need something new. Well, you're getting a new ascendant, and that's a good thing. It means you're going to be seeing new things. Now, for her, this was probably a period of service. Virgo is service and work. So work again is going to come into play. Notice how there is a mystic rectangle here. Mystic rectangles show a flow of energy to her. And the only issue here is we've got Black Moon Lilith. For some women, if they are online and there's Black Moon Lilith, sometimes there's a wish to look a certain way. It's a very, very sexy type of energy. So that could be one way it manifests. And this, actually, we've got some people right here. These are a lot of guys, and they're in the school. They are in the college, which would be Sagittarius. They see her easily. They know her. They're able to walk into a home and connect with her if they want to. Many times, though, I think they said that she wasn't even home when they came in. But this is a lot of guys, and they're retrograde. Pluto's retrograde and Mars is retrograde. So when a planet turns retrograde in your progressed house, there is an effect. And so what you would do is you would look at what the planet represents. Here it would be the 9th house. College boys. I think this means a lot of college boys, and can also represent military too. Maybe there was, a few people. I mean, Koberger was one that was potentially looking at her and had an army background. So this could be a profile of a murderer, or it could be a profile, and I should say, not or, but and military people, or just guys. Guys, interesting how Chiron is right there. Chiron is wounds. So wounded veterans. I mean, I don't know why that's in there, but very interesting. Now, on the other side of this, remember Mercury is the ruler of her. It's her chart ruler. It used to be the sun, and now it's changing over to Mercury. Mercury's retrograde. And you can't see this, but I believe um, I believe Saturn is at 18. I think one of them was at 18 degrees. But anyway, the MC is at Algol. So this would be her career. This would be something where perhaps people who do not necessarily have all of the best intentions come into your space. So if you have your ascendant on Algol, you have to watch out who comes into your space. And a lot of times they're very good looking, gotta say, because it's part of the, I guess, the test or the desire or whatever. There's I can never remember her name, Megan, not Markle, but Megan Fox. She would have the profile of Algol. Very sexy, but also with men as well. Men are very good looking. So Heather, at least, some of them, just be careful about who you encounter that year, because they might have ulterior motives. Now, Mercury being her in retrograde shows that she's not operating at 100% this year. And unfortunately, now Mercury for her had just turned retrograde a few years before this. So it's difficult when you've got, especially a chart ruler. Now, it's only been a little while. Oh, this is the solar chart. Okay, but Mercury in her progressed chart too. This is unusual when you have a progressed chart and a solar return chart looking similar. I don't see that often. So it seems to be all in sync there. So I'm just going to. Now, as you all know, when you have an opposition, it is very difficult. It means the downfall of something. And she's at the top. We saw this with Princess Catherine's chart, in that a brother would bring down the group of royals. So you have to check that out if you didn't catch it. Mercury is Madison in her progressed chart, Maddie, and Jupiter is right there. Jupiter would be her significant other. And interesting how he, in a sense, he is brought down as well because he loses her. But there's a lot of anger. Again, remember we talked even from the very first weeks, we were talking about how these people are very angry. They're very angry to see her boyfriend. Let's see. And here's the other thing we were talking about the other day. Remember, in any chart, you can look and see who your hidden enemy is. And her hidden enemy is right next to her. So potentially that could be a friend who was an inadvertent hidden enemy. But there's somebody right up there who is causing her some type of, I don't know, I don't want to say ill will, but is bringing on bad energy. And she's right next to that person. Jupiter would also represent someone who is of a larger size, which we know that she isn't. So I'm wondering who that is. If you want to know what something is, you would look at the seventh house, or you would look at the fourth house, which Jupiter represents. But that doesn't make sense. That's her boyfriend. Perhaps it's a hidden enemy that knows her boyfriend. I don't know. But as I said in the last show, I know that they were in love. They were extremely happy together. And these people down here did not like that. And so they were so angry about something that was happening, maybe some type of communication. Remember, Mercury is communicating in Gemini. That is communicating in a different way, in a quirky way, and it's things that maybe saying things the wrong way. And it's upsetting to this group here, which happens to be in the fourth house, in her home. All right. And notice how her fourth house lord is Pluto. And Pluto in here represents a homicide. So Mars is a weapon or blood. So it shows a lot of blood and wounds in the fourth house, her home. So it could simply just mean that this is how she ended. This was the ending. This was the demise. She was in her house and this happened to her. All of this, Mars, Pluto, this is pretty extreme. But yet Mars is still anger. And it's in Sagittarius, which is a fire sign, very fiery, very intense, bigger than life. So that's how you would describe, I think, this stellium of three planets being a stellium. Yet, how do we explain this point of Thales? We have 2 point of Thales, or what makes a mystic rectangle, but it's pointing, see this blue line here? It's kind of like, how do we get to them? These people cannot get to them. How do we get to them? And Uranus is online. Sixth house is work. So this is how they were able to see her through her work. And Black Moon Lilith looking good. Uranus, just social media, sexy social media, maybe. This Uranus would square the MC, showing that her career would be interrupted. There would be an extreme shock from it. Lots of clues here in the sixth house. Let's see. Now, Neptune represents a sliding door, a break-in, but it's not the fourth house. It's the sixth house. Like it almost shows like breaking glass, because Aquarius is to break, Neptune is glass. And it's interesting, she was born in 2001, and that we saw Uranus and Neptune at the event chart for September 11th. There was a lot of broken glass. So you're seeing that energy here in her sixth house of work. So I'm not sure what that's all about. Not sure what to make of it. Now, the other thing too is you've got Saturn moving into a square, and it's squaring her. It's squaring her in Virgo. So I really think that Virgo, meaning clothing, meaning work, has something to do with this mystery. And Mars here and Pluto. This is so much anger. I can't even describe how much anger that is. And then there's a trine to her. So I'm wondering what that could be. there seems to be, they want to access her up here in the 10th house, or they just don't like what she's saying. I'm not sure about, and Saturn would be, these people want to stop her from being out in the open. There is a motivation to stop her from talking. And keep in mind, remember Tillman, he was stopped, well, he was stopped in his vehicle, and because of faulty communications. We've got Mercury retrograde here, just like we did in Tillman's job chart or event chart. And again, people were not hearing what was being said. It was twisted. So there's something really twisted that's coming out of this. Jupiter means a lot of communications, a lot of twisted communications. So that's what I'm getting for that. You can't help but look at North Node, which can show deception and smoke, like smoke and mirrors. And so I'm not sure what that means. It's funny with Leos, they're either really athletic or they like to smoke. They want to be around the heat. And I know that there are some people that I've talked to, and they'll have Pluto and Jupiter in Leo, and they're lifetime smokers. They could never even think of stopping smoking. Not to say that that has to do with this chart, although I would not doubt. No, because this is a Virgo ascendant now. We're not really seeing, this is her hidden enemy, the sun. This shows a group of hidden enemies or the twin hidden enemy. I don't really think that her friend Kaylee was her hidden enemy, but perhaps she was the one who drew these people in. I'm not sure, just inadvertently. Now we're going to go to the solar return chart in 1 second. Angel D, I wonder if BK was maybe chatting with them online under a false Tinder or something, just my own speculation. Hey, Bubbly Waters, good to see you. And all right. Oh, Rumpalong here is here. I am not sure what that means. Oh, red rummed. Oh my gosh, that's terrible. Yes, Taylor Swift has dark blue eyes. She has Saturn and Neptune together, touching her ascendant, I think. Bubbly Waters, maybe broken glass speaks of Greeks and how they smash a glass at a wedding and throw plates when mad. Hey, that's very interesting. I think that's a good one. Toy, you're saying, I've wondered if the perp actually entered on the 3rd floor through that sliding door and worked their way down. Possible? I don't know. That would be kind of, I mean, he definitely have to be climbing up there, right? Wasn't that one documentary called something like Through Glass? Is this about September 11th or is this about something else? Heather, that's a really good idea. We should do that. Tell me what your thoughts are in the comment section or now on the live about what you think is going to happen at the hearing. I think everybody's anticipating that. Jake is in Spain teaching. Good for him. Oh, that's interesting, frat boy. So maybe that's part of the environment that she's around. Something in retrograde means flawed. So we've got Mars in retrograde. These are many guys that are flawed. With Chiron right there, they've got lots of tattoos. They've got hidden wounds or maybe open wounds. And they just aren't, they're actually at war with her because of that opposition. That's a war. Okay, that makes sense. Hey, Shelley, nice to see you. Yep, Kopaka, we can't forget Brent Kopaka, yes. And I think that potentially, because we're even talking about it, it doesn't matter who is uh, guilty or not. It's just what the rumors are, what people are talking about, the themes of the crime that can all still show up in a victim's chart. Yes. It makes you think, Ida Silva. It really does. Now, Heather, you were talking more about alcohol. I was in a car accident at 16 that changed the course of my life entirely. I'm so sorry to hear that. And yes, we see that sometimes. And you're very, very fortunate, but still, I'm sure that it can't be easy. It's almost like it just takes over your life in a certain way, and there's nothing you can do about it. Now, there are other people who seem to be okay, but I don't know. I think Megan Fox doesn't pick very good mates, so maybe that's her problem. Thank you, Cheryl. That's so nice. And all right, so I think I got caught up there. And can alcohol be hair loss? I have not seen that. I only see hair loss when there's a Saturn aspect and it's affecting Leo, or perhaps even the ascendant, and that can be your hair. Just Saturn is loss, but especially loss of hair. I know a few people who have Saturn in Leo and they had black and very thin hair. Okay. Yeah, Heather, you have an intense chart there. Okay, so let's go on to the solar return chart. And I had circled Mercury retrograde. In that year of 2022, she has Mercury retrograde. So it's like a double whammy, and her progressed. And here it's all lining up. Then she's got in the ninth house, Uranus, North Node, and the ruler of her hidden enemy is right on the MC. And you could put all of that together in one stellium, and it's going to square her. So we're talking sudden communications. This is the ninth house of school and college. We're talking maybe breakups. That could be interruptions in anything, friendships, could be online money, Uranus in Taurus. And North Node with Uranus, that means extreme. So extreme shock at the college, which would be the ninth house. And basically, you could loop in that sun too. So Mercury is also a car. So with Uranus, it could show a very fast car and a foreign car. So that would be in the ninth house of news and the press, and something that would show up there. We have, what's really interesting, I've made a note to myself here, a redhead. And you'll recall when I read the Leda County chart the other day, we saw again Venus in Aries. So what's up with that? Why are we seeing a T square in the eighth house of, I'm afraid to say, murderers? Eighth house is Scorpio. And this is Venus and the moon is a famous person, a famous female that has red hair. Who is this going to be? It doesn't necessarily mean that, well, if this chart would have gone till May 23. So this person is hiding. The eighth house is secrets. So I wonder what that's all about. Maybe we should draw a card. If I can figure out how to turn on my other video. Let me see here. Extra camera. See if this works. Okay. And I guess, should we draw like a card or something, and maybe just one card, and see who that female is? Okay, are you guys hearing me when when I just have the other camera on? I don't think you did. Let's see here. 1 second. Okay. Yeah, I got a tarot can because you guys asked for it. Why not? And okay, before you couldn't. Thanks, Marion. All right, I want to know who this redhead is. And yes, interesting about Donna Serafina. The secret witness they're hiding. Yes. And why was the moon there? That shows fame. It shows maybe a female at home, a female at somebody else's home. Wait a minute. Wasn't there that girl that was there who saw something across the way? Did she have red hair? I can't remember. I remember it's on YouTube, I think. And she reached out to the defense saying how she saw some things happen even in the morning. Okay. All right, Nicola. All right, so here we go. Okay, 6 of Wands, reversed. So that'll be my one card for the redhead. What do you think about that? That's she looks like she's got brown hair. This is a person who looks like they don't want to be put in the spotlight. Look at how the spotlight's on her. And reversed. This is someone who does not want to be a part of this. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, I saw that toy. That's a possibility. Okay. So not as strong. Yeah, not as strong. These cards are the Light Seers. You can see it's a good card deck. Amy has that one. And all right. So I'm probably going to ask another question too. Let's glow with the flow. What a term. Okay. So let me go back to sharing this. And I'm going to remove the cam. I'm going to come back to the cards in a second. Now, of course, if there's any girl that has red hair, we're not saying it's you, but there is somebody who, there's a T-square here in her chart, and she is not successful with something. She is a problem in Maddie's chart for that year. Now, in the intro, I promised that I would talk about when Madison left the earth, and also we're going to look at the timing of it. So if we were to look at this, this is the chart for if she had spent her birthday in May in Moscow. But what you're going to do is you're going to start your birthday at the ascendant on the day of the ascendant. So what is it, May, late May, okay? And then it goes to, so May, June, July, and every cusp is going to be late in the month for her. So May, June, July, August, September, October, November. And this is May, June, July, August, September, October, November. And that month of November would be ruled by Pisces. So obviously Moscow is Pisces. And November. But this would be the end of November. This would be mid-November. And that's when Saturn is death. Okay. I got confused there because of the dates. It's important because you really have to start on the day of your month. You can't just say this is the entire month of May. So at this point, once she gets up to this house and it starts activating, things start happening. This will be right, see me. This is late October. And this is late November. This is mid-November when Saturn pulls this T-square here. A huge shock. Uranus squaring Saturn. Now, we all had Uranus squaring Saturn up through 2022, I think it was. But for her, it was a little different because her ruling planet is on Algol. There is this huge stellium, and then it's squaring Saturn. So she's really getting some very bad, evil energy there. And Saturn is somebody who is a sixth house. What is that? Sixth house is the stalker house. So an older stalker online. That's how I read that. What do you guys think? Yes, thank you, Heather, May 25th. Interesting, Marion. You got the Six of Wands upright. That enemy was successful. That's so weird that you got the same card. Or are you saying that was my card that you got upright? All right, so Bubbly, you're saying there's a photo of the redhead Bethany Dillons and Ethan all in a motorhome, and it was an odd photo. Ooh, that's good info. Okay. Someone was watching from the outside. That's possible because when you have a good looking group of people are going to watch. People are going to look through the blinds. Now, that was pretty late, but in a college town, it's not really a big deal. People are still up. They're drinking, they're laughing. Bubbly, I don't know who that is. Okay. We'll have to check into it. So, and of course, not saying anybody who we mention is guilty of anything, but these names are, I suppose, in the public forum. Okay. Yeah, Marion, true. Okay, so Marion, you're saying that was your card. That is crazy. We both had the same card. Oh, okay. So are you guys getting it as far as what you can do every solar return chart? And the way you study this is go into your old solar return charts and look at where the ascendant stops and start the calendar. Say, oh, yeah, that's right. The fourth house in Aquarius that year, we moved. Usually an Aquarius house means something will change that month. So that's an example. Great way to study solar return charts. The reason I feel like I'm pretty experienced is because I've read so many of them. And it's always the same. It's always the same. So it's very interesting how this can be your calendar. And so if this is mid-November here where the deaths, and if you'll recall, Mercury is 2, okay, and it's in Algol. So somebody thinks that they are the ones with the Algol energy. Number one, or number two, you could fuse the energy between this stalker and Algol. So he would be an evil stalker. Algol not always being evil, but in crime charts, yes. So really big energy here, squaring. It's like the Grim Reaper in mid-November, which is the 6th house. So what do? We go to late November, then December. And what happens at the end of December? This is when the police are sneaky and they're going undercover and they're following Berger, which would be Mars. Jupiter is the teacher. And slowly it's starting to go into the 3rd house or the 8th house. And it was the end of December. So that would have been and then it's right on that 8th house as soon as they caught him. That's nuts. That's crazy. the whole time, this cluster, or I mean, it is a cluster, but the stellium, which means 3 planets or more, it's squaring this planet. And that to me says something's up, something's shady. There's another person who who is not there. They can't get to that person. Cancer. This would be somebody who is an American or something domestic. But I wonder who that is. It's almost like they're watching the arrest. This is an arrest. Neptune is jail. Uh, and Mars and Jupiter in Aries, this man is military, former military. And remember how many police. Mars, police, Jupiter, lots of police. 8th house, Scorpio, that would be trash. So digging through the trash and looking at everything from an 8th house perspective. I would like to know, I'm going to draw a card for the 8th house. And I want to know more about that 8th house. What don't we know? What don't we know about the end of December when there was an arrest? Because there's Black Moon Lilith there squaring this trio, this stellium. I want to know who it is. And what does it really mean? What does this square mean? Does it mean that this person is resisting, does not want to be associated maybe with Koberger? Okay, I'm going to put the tarot cam up. And okay, do some shuffling. All right. Well, thank you, Linda. You're so sweet. There are so many combinations that I feel like I only get a few. But with 3 planets, I mean, you can get like, 30 different meanings probably, because you've got Mars and Neptune, and then you've got Mars, Jupiter, Neptune, and then you've got Mars, Jupiter, and then you've got Jupiter, Neptune, I mean, maybe not 30, but there's a lot. And Mars, Neptune is a boat and a boat engine and a yacht. So there's something about a yacht in here, like you guys said the other day. All right, here we go. Okay. All right. Oh, God. Ooh. Death card. Well, the 8th house is the death house. What don't we know? Could this be that? Could this be the person who died? But here's the thing. Okay, I'm thinking about the man who committed suicide, and suicide would be this would be up here, Uranus. But I'm not seeing a connection with this person. So what I'm getting is that there is a person, another person, but maybe they died because there's a square to the 8th house. Who died? All right, so this person will be a Cancer. Home. He died at home. All right, let me erase some of this stuff. I got to see this 8th house. That was freaky. That kind of scared me. Okay, so this is the 8th house of death. It could just mean that this murderer has Black Moon Lilith characteristics, a very dark, dark person. But Mars is also law enforcement. And this could be somebody who is trying to find this other person, but they can't. Black Moon Lilith is a black, it's like a black curtain. And it's in her 10th house of career. Well, the MC it's ruled by Mercury. So her 10th house is very strong this year. She's the 10th house and she's the first house. This is somebody that might know her. Or look at how there is a connection with the hidden enemy in that same house. You have the sun and Black Moon Lilith in the same house. So that can give off the energy of a dark hidden enemy. It doesn't matter how many degrees, as long as it's in the same house or just next to the planet. Even if you had Black Moon Lilith, down here, if there wasn't anything else here, you would still get the effects. So what am I trying to say? I think that card told us something about death. Maybe it has to do with the person that died, or maybe somebody died that we don't know about. Oh, thanks. Yeah. Okay, hold on one second. Bubbly, could it be the black guy? That would be Saturn. There's no connection unless, let's see, Capricorn. We could look at Capricorn. I don't see that. Yeah, I was thinking that too, that he died. Oh, yeah, that's true. And with the sun there, that could be a blonde, somebody who has nefarious. Now, obviously, I think she passed, but it could be somebody who is blonde. Yeah, Hannah Clear. Hannah Clear. Names can always give us so much. I'm going to take that card down. That's freaky. I mean, it is Pluto, so maybe it's telling us to look at Pluto. Where's Pluto here? Okay, so you can see this. Oops. Okay, Pluto is here. Well, we were talking about the 8th house, though. 8th house is death. The Pluto is homicide. Get ready, guys. Get ready. This is a redhead. And there is something that she pushed back against here. This somehow affected her, or she was the cause of something that had to do with this plan, this plan. And it's possible. Now, 5th house is also a holiday. That could be like Halloween was not too far from that date. So I wonder if Halloween, there might have been some kind of clue of some redhead. When you think of famous women, which that represents, sometimes it's not the person. It can show like a street or a building that somebody's named after, like, I'll try not to date myself. I was going to say Raquel Welch, but, something like the Mariah Carey Auditorium, something like that. That would be that Venus and Moon. Maybe somebody who was wounded in some way, though. So could have been, because Venus and Moon are in Aries, it could have been maybe a female officer. Oh, maybe somebody who knew another officer. Okay. I don't know. What do you guys think? Okay. Beach butterfly, maybe BK couldn't get there that night. I know. Kristen wants me to draw another card. All right. I will, but I get freaked out. I don't want that card again. But we talk about how terrible it is, but sometimes rebirth is good. Oh, Nicole Kidman. There you go. That's a good modern one. Thank you. Sunlight shining through on top. Which one was that? Okay, Marion's saying death, a transformation, but someone decided to tell and is in protective custody. We cannot see their face. That's a possibility. Yes, faceless from the card. And Nicola Moody, you said looks like a hood with no conscience. Oh my God. The hoodie guy. And there was a hood. Now, not saying that he had anything to do with it, but there could be someone with a hood. Confused Glacier. Faceless is the hood tape guy who wears ski mask all the time. Oh yeah, that other guy at the house on video, I think. Okay, so do you want me to draw another card? Oh, Marion saying the death card can't hurt you. It definitely shows an ending, and I've had it in the past in major readings in my life, and it sure turned out for the best. So I was happy about that. Okay, Angel D. Did Hoodie Guy see something that night and freaked out and went to his parents? Does Jack Showalter have red hair? There's going to be something with the red hair. Just wait. I mean, I can't wait. How many months are we going to have to wait? It seems like we're going to have to wait till the Leda County chart has to start, and that's going to be in May. So I don't think anything's going to happen before May. That's for sure. All right. So let me look at the chart real quick, and then I'll draw a card. Let's see. Did I bring any other charts here? No. All right. So ascendant is in Virgo. She is Mercury retrograde this year. She meaning Maddie Mogen. And I think what I want to explain the ninth house. Why is she retrograde? Why all of this energy? Ninth house is the college. And then you've got an opposition to the south node. The south node is what you leave behind that year. Third house would be a rental property. So she would have to leave that behind. And it was somebody else's rental property, which would be Scorpio, somebody else's. But Spirit, can you help us explain the ninth house and why it looks so dreadful? Okay. Queen of Cups, the Queen. Okay. So what that's telling me is, where's Regulus? Or Leo. We don't really need Regulus. Regulus would be the end of Leo. Queen of Cups, another female. Oh my God, she's got, oh, you guys I've got to show you this. Hold on. I forgot to do the camera. Crap. Sorry. Crazy, huh? Can you freaking believe that? Red hair with a crown on top, upright. That's nuts. Yes, thank you, Angel D. Okay, so again, confirmation. There's a queen in there. There's somebody there. I think it's this, not only the sun, which would represent two or a group of hidden enemies, but also Venus and Aries. This person is clashing with her and is right next to her. Who could she have been fighting with? I don't know. Hold on. 1 second. So here, oops, we've got this famous person or a person that will become famous. Well, one thing I did not take into consideration here. Oh my God. Wait till you see this. Remember, I showed you the stalker? Look at the sextile to this woman. This woman knows Koberger. Hmm. Okay. I can't believe the Queen of Cups has red hair. Let me just say that. Uh, can you tell me more about the connection between this redhead and the stalker? I mean, how can a card show us that? I don't know. I'm going to show you the cards this time. So let's see. Okay, you've got it. Yes, thank you, Glow with the Flow. And yes, EB has reddish brown hair. I didn't know that. Sibling. They're definitely, we said it the other day that there's a sibling involved somehow that might give information. I mean, we're not saying anything. Oh my God, Angel D, I honestly, I will die if that happened. Okay. So the question was the connection, if any, between this redhead and the stalker online. Okay. All right. Here I go. Ace of Wands. Ace of Wands. Yes. Remember, Todd said something about the dark woman, and that's what this looks like. And it looks like she has, it's like fire, maybe anger. That's right. So this is the one that Todd was talking about. That's amazing. I know. Oh, we're going live. Don't worry, Toy. You guys are going to be here. I know it. But that's pretty crazy, Marion. What do you think? Marion is the real psychic on here. But I'm really freaked out about these cards because it really does connect with that chart. Now, interesting in her progressed chart, which would be, what is a progressed chart? A progressed chart is your birth chart now. It's when all of your planets in your birth chart at the time of your birth, they slowly progress to today. It can be 1 degree at a time. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't, depends on the planet. Moon tends to move the fastest in a chart. So sometimes it's frustrating when you see your progressed chart and you're like, these planets aren't really moving very fast. Well, you can look at the moon and you can also look at Mercury, which tend to move a little bit faster. The ascendant moves 1 degree per year. She's just in this. Oh, you know what I'd like to pull a card on? The Virgo clue. There's a big Virgo clue. That's clothing. And Saturn is way up here in her 10th house. Now, Saturn often can show responsibilities, and she has responsibilities when it comes to communication. She was in PR, so that makes sense. But are these responsibilities bringing something down? Somebody is bringing her down here. And it's this Mars. Now, if you can get an idea of how intense that is, these, like, if I were to just see any chart and I saw Mars, Chiron, meaning wounds, and Pluto, I would think that that's something like a wounded warriors type of building nearby or something. Because Mars in retrograde, it's people, men who can't walk. Sagittarius means legs. So these people have bad knees. I mean, I guess Capricorn's knees, but Sag is legs, so they have trouble walking. So that might be a clue of some sort. And so So she's up here. Saturn is there. And what I want to do is I want to pull a card for Virgo. Why are we getting Virgo? Virgo means work. Virgo means pets. Okay, so that's going to be their pet. It means service, duty, health. Okay. It's possible that maybe she didn't feel very good. That's your health. Your health matters. Maybe she had to call in sick. And sometimes, you're going to look at your ascendant in that house in that sign as your first month. So that would have been May. Maybe she didn't feel so good that month. And then as she came over to the other months, no, that's her progressed. 2, 3. May, June, July. Mid-July, something was going on. It was mid-July when that connection. I'm going to put it up on here before I draw the card. Hold on. Look at this. You see, so this would be May, June, July. This is the end of July, end of August. So this is around August when something is happening. Why? Because this T-square is in play in probably early August. That brings it to early August. There's something Plutonian, Scorpion. It's jealousy, it's betrayal. It's a neighbor. Oh, that's right. Okay. Well, I did a show on a pool party, so here we go. Neighbor, pool, right here. That's Neptune. And it was a good party, I think, except wasn't there some kind of fight maybe? So maybe this person wasn't able to go to that pool party. I don't know. You see that square to this? Again, more definitions of that stellium. We've got a yacht. We've got a pool party. We've got Mars, guys, lots of guys at the pool. It's in Aries. They're fighting. They're angry. God, these men, I tell you what. Oh, just drop this a little second. That's crazy. Okay. So let's see. All right, here we go. What about a baby? I don't know about that. Yes. Hi, Lissa. Nice to see you. Angel D. Well, it's funny. I felt like that my whole young life, so I can relate. This might be the very first time I'm at the head of the class, but you guys are doing a great job helping me. And I feel like that when it comes to tarot. So great to see you, Shelley. I'm glad you're here. Okay. So we're talking about, oh my God. Angel, the redhead in the photo was a party girl who loved raves. Okay. So rave would be Neptune. It would be fifth house. Okay. There's definitely a rave in here. That's for sure. There's going to be for any college. All right. Are you ready? I'm going to do what is the Virgo clue that has to do with Maddie Mogen and clothing, dogs? Is there any connection to this mystery with Virgo? Okay, here we go. Oh, I've never seen that card before. Knight of Cups. Oh, what do you guys think? That's self-explanatory. This is like, Virgo. So there's a guy who's a Virgo, maybe. And maybe someone really is trying to court her even though she has a boyfriend. That's what I'm thinking. What do you think? Are you serious? No way. That would be Black Moon Lilith in Cancer. Oh my God. Bubbly, I just drew the card. I didn't do anything, but thank you. I know it's a lot of juggling, but Bubbly, you just named everything, Val, that I've been screaming about from day one, and it was Kaylee's job. Yeah. I mean, there's a job involved, that's for sure. Yeah, we've been talking about it, and it's good to bring it up again because it's been so long since we talked about it. Okay, thanks, Nathan. Ace of Wands can just be new information pertaining to that person. Okay. All right. So we were talking about when we got the Ace of Wands, it was the connection between the stalker and this redhead, I think. And then we got this other dark skinned lady. So maybe it's just new information that's coming out. Okay. Yes, Marion, she was the belle. Who was the belle of the ball? Yeah, I know. I know. But hey, TJ, nice to see you. If I stay on long enough, I get to see a bunch of you guys. Yeah, everybody's wondering who the redhead is. I think that's my latest clue, really. Been getting them in all of the charts. We've got Maddie's solar return, Maddie's progressed chart, her birth chart. I think we had something like that in Kaylee's chart, but I can't remember. But then I think we had two redheads in the Leda County chart, the solar return chart for this year. Me neither, Nicola. What about the name Eli? I don't know. Do you think this guy's an Eli? My God, he looks handsome, and he looks like he could be somebody courting. And the question was, what's up with this Virgo? And this could be, I wonder, somebody she knew at work. Virgos work. Somebody is connected. Could that be the alleged murderer? Could that be Koberger? Oh, and let's look at the background here. Okay, wait a minute. Oh, sorry. We've got a horse. We've got a lot of Sag in here. I don't know if we've got a lot, but I remember seeing a lot of Sag. Fourth house is Sag. We've got a picnic. We've got a letter. This is somebody who is handsome and wants a relationship. All right. So if we're going to go to the person, if we're going to go to her solar chart and look at people who are courting, we could look at two areas. We could look at the descendant and we could look at the Lord of the Fifth. Oh, Lord of the Fifth is Saturn. Older boyfriend. Now, I'm not saying that she knew him, but this person could have intentions that they want to date. Fifth house. Okay. And then two planets represent the seventh house, which would be, oh, okay. Let me erase this and start over. Look at this. So if this is Koberger, both of the planets that rule the seventh house of mate are conjunct Mars. It's almost like there's a fight over her. What do you think? There could have been a fight over her. This is this is a boyfriend. And I mean, that could have been at the pool party. That's playing out at the pool party. It could be playing out at the yacht party. So, if we want to learn more about the mate, let's look at the fifth. And so we want to know what they're thinking about. It would be third house from the fifth, and that would be the seventh. What are they thinking about? I don't know, the pool party. This Pisces stuff, lots of water, fantasy, foreign stuff, a film, movies, I don't know, shoes, footprints, scandal. I mean, he's not going to be thinking about that. Hmm. Yeah, I mean, it is the house of bed pleasures, so he might be thinking about that kind of stuff too. This is like a bed. I don't know. We could get really salacious. Let's pull it back here. But Saturn is definitely key in here. I suppose we should look at another card because now I'm kind of intrigued with this. Let's see. Oh God, you didn't see that chart the entire time I was marking it up. Well, there's Saturn, and that is the person we're talking about. That's the stalker online in Aquarius in the sixth house of stalkers. So I know I got to get used to this format. I apologize. Okay. So, all right, let me do it over again. Okay. Just real quick. So, and then then we'll pull a card. All right. So we've got the fifth house and the seventh house we could look at for her year. I mean, and I'm telling you this because you can look at this for your own chart. This would be like a boyfriend or somebody who's courting, like a Knight of Wands. And the Lord of that fifth house is Saturn. This is somebody who is courting. He's online. He wants to get to know her. And he has easy access to her. Look at how there's a blue line to her. Now, there could be a possibility that she was talking to this person, maybe secretly. I don't know, because we've got Algol here. Sometimes you can be like, I don't know, sometimes you can do different things when your planet is in Algol. You just don't act the way you do normally in years. So this is him ruling the fifth house. Okay, so what if it's the seventh house, which is the mate? This would be Pisces and Jupiter both rule the seventh house, and it's next to Coburger. I'm assuming it's Coburger. Mars here, Burger, right? So these people are having a fight. There's a lot of people fighting. Why are, like, you would think with all the people that are involved in this, why we're not getting more leaks? It's frustrating. But the other thing is you can see this big trine. It's a mini grand trine here. You see that triangle? It's a lot. Wow, this is a lot of energy here. And she's at the top, and she's got part of fortune here in the 11th. When you have part of fortune in the 11th house and you don't have a T square like she did, this is big success. This is hopes and dreams. This is communicating what your hopes and dreams are. This is dressing up and going out places and saying, here I am, and showing the world, which is what she was doing in the ninth house of social media. Uranus is online. Ninth house is communicating and publishing. And look at that North Node there. North Node is a little deception. It is maybe, it's kind of smoke and mirrors. It's going somewhere and saying you're there, but maybe you're not, that kind of stuff. It's typical social media stuff, right? So she's able to do it. And look at this Neptune here. That's a filter. These are filters. And she is successfully carrying off this fantastic, sexy fantasy. And somebody does not want that to be the case. And that is this woman right here. Now, I'm not saying that this is tied to the case, but this is something that she would have to deal with that year in the 8th house of potentially could be victims, could be a killer. I don't know, but it's that woman. That woman is making it so that she doesn't have success. There's no success that year. All right, so we'll pull a card. I'm going to look and see what you guys are saying. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. So much anger, I know. There's a guy named Hudson. That would be a Leo name. Yeah. And then Burger, Mars is Burger. Thanks, TJ. I'm probably going to have to do another one of those because of my audio was not so great last week. I don't know Taurus 16. Everybody wants to know that. Yes, the card was Knight of Wands. That was maybe a suitor. So I think what I want to know is, and I'm going to turn Aquarius is air and water. The Knight of Cups is air and water. That's interesting. Angel D, the cars that arrived the morning of the 13th November likely parked all over where the perp originally parked and ruined some potential evidence. Yeah. Okay. So, hello, Isabel. Blue Heron, I haven't heard from you in a while. It's great to see you. I love all caps with that kind of message. It's the only time I allow all caps. So great to see you guys. Now, all right. So I want to know so much about this woman. What should we ask? Let me look back at her progressed chart. She's just coming into Virgo. Oh, God, look at this. Look at this. In her progressed chart, of course, that means the chart, which is your birth date now. If any of you don't know astrology, if you can pull your progressed chart, that's your birth chart today. That's what you're working with. Well, we got another famous woman in here, and it's in the 9th house. What's up with that? And this is the color green. She seems to be very successful because of part of fortune. There's somebody this is weird. It's either somebody who's well known at the college, well known in the press, 9th house. It's in Taurus, that Venus and Moon. Venus means a woman, Moon means famous woman. Sextiling, part of fortune. This is a very successful woman. And then that's in, hold on. That's in Cancer, which is also fame. There's somebody who's very well known here that we don't know, and it's in her chart. Well, I guess that's the question. Who is this well-known woman? And what does she have to do with all of this? Allegedly, this well-known woman. We don't know. We're not trying to spread anything. But that's what I'm getting from these charts. Okay, so let me change over here. Yeah. It's a good question. It's a possibility. I think it could be both. It could be both. Isabel, is that a chocolate bar? Don't do that to me. Okay, let's see. I'm being silly because you guys are on here, but really, this is trying to be serious here. Now, who is this famous woman? Okay, here we go. Thank you, Marion. I'm going to keep yours up. Someone's mom, maybe Angel D. All right, here we go. Knight of Wands. Gosh, there's so much fire in these cards. Have you noticed? Every time I pull a card, there is some kind of fire graphic on there. And it makes me think that there might be some kind of clue there. Yeah, that's true. Yes, me too, glow with the flow. Could the woman, Heather says, be Maddie's, and how much publicity? Oh, did I already answer that? Yes, I think that's the case. Who drives that lime green car? I didn't really get much from that. And I do think it's just a neighbor. So I think it was nothing. Okay, so let's look at this Knight of Wands. This is a female. She is having the time of her life. A young girl, since it's a knight. So somebody who is probably a student. And we have got another horse in the background, which obviously are in all the knight cards. But she's banging on a drum, like in the middle of a fire ceremony. This looks like a ritual to me. Is this a woman that has to do with some kind of ritual? What do you guys think? Okay, that's a good idea, Natalie. Okay, Spirit, can you clarify the Knight of Wands? Yeah, it's a girl, but it looks like a young girl, like, maybe like 17 or 18, somebody like that. But why would she be famous? That's what I want to know. Was her mother okay? Yeah, 4 flames, woman in the center with a bucking horse. Out of frustration. What's up with all the frat boy pics they all flash 4 fingers? Are you serious? 4 means death. And by the way, Maddie was she in Chinese astrology, she was a snake. Very, very intelligent people are snakes. And the snake's unlucky number is 6. So that would make sense because that was her address. Her address added up to 6. Shelley saying, supposedly the one is running the show is a female, born a male, but not female. Equestrian is involved. Yes. It's a good point. It's weird with DM because there have been so many opportunities to discuss and really break that down, but there's something inside of me that just, I can't do it. I don't know why. You get that break. I just have this internal break that says, don't do that. So I'm just staying away from that. Bubbly, you can cover that. How about that? Okay, yes, Toy. Surrounded by 4 staffs of flames. Yes. Okay. Wait, who races horses? Bubbly, how do you know all of this? Okay. Okay, so Spirit, can you clarify the Knight of Wands and who this famous woman is that we see in the charts, in Maddie Mogen's chart, in both of her charts, her progressed and her solar return chart? Who's this famous woman or well-known woman? The Empress. Whoa. This is like a queen. This is the top of the heap. That's really mind-boggling because that's what Moon and Venus is. That's a woman way up the top of the heap. Okay. Well, I think that would be the next thing I'd probably want to know about. Like, who is this woman? Is she the wife of somebody? Is she kind of running the show behind the scenes in some type of thing? Is there some kind of maven that's a university official? I mean, we could go in. Oh, Siri's wondering what I'm talking about. Yeah, I know. Okay, Catherine Ransland, that's Mars. That's like all of this red that we're seeing. That's Aries. Marion, you're saying a baby. What do you think? What do you mean? I know. Crazy. I know. I know it is, isn't it? Thank you. Okay, let me back up here. Yeah, Taurus, I think a lot of people think the same thing about DM, but you know, I look at her and I don't get anything. I'm not psychic though, so maybe some of you do, but I feel like I don't want to talk about her. Uh, oh, come on, Angel D. Are you serious? Whoa, I think I'm going to be doing some Googling tonight. How about you? She did an interview on Fox News. I just looked it up. Tour 16, you're really putting it out there. We got to be careful with what we say here. Oh, Natalie A., are you serious? I've seen pregnancy a number of times when I pull. Well, remember when I did that first show with Todd and I explained it's a Kardashian energy. And of course, everybody's jealous of somebody else because they all have different things. They're all talking about pregnancies. One needs to get pregnant. They're all getting pregnant. They're all having babies together. They are all talking about wills and death. And remember, Chloe had the show called Revenge Body. So they're revenge themes. God, I could be a whole Kardashian PR machine for them with these cases, but that's so Scorpio. And then of course the women all with black hair. Scorpio is black. So the color black is such a big clue. Yeah. His wife's name is Gabby. Okay, well, we better be careful. Owner of Mad Creek. And that makes sense too, because whenever you have kind of Aries names of things, 9 times out of 10, you're going to get redheads. So, not saying that these people are connected in any way, but interesting to review the signs and how they manifest. So, plenty of things like how weird that in these charts you would see the motive is being anger. And here she works at Mad Greek. It's just, you just constantly see these themes. And with the Leo, and then with Pat Tillman, which I was talking about earlier on. This is, I'm just, Shelley, you should be good though. I mean, that's a very intelligent Chinese animal. So you're in good shape. Okay. Angel D. Fox interview was 17th of November with owner of Mad Greek. Okay. I'll have to check that out. But yeah, with Leo, I was looking at Pat Tillman's event chart for when he joined the Army to be an Army Ranger, which is also a theme in this chart, which is within the year or probably in the next year that Maddie was born when he did that. There was transportation, there was miscommunication, there was a lot of friends and friendly fire. And remember, he was in the operation, what was it? I think it was Operation Mountain Storm in Afghanistan. So we had the mountain. And remember, with Ted Bundy, Taylor is a Leo name, and he would move the bodies to Taylor Mountain. So, of course, because he's a Leo. So you've got all of these things, these themes that you can use. Not that it's that specific sometimes where you can, but it's good for confirmation sometimes. Okay. Interesting. TJ. Yes, I think we can all speak to that. Okay. So it's funny how I didn't even look at that until we really started talking about this famous woman. Now, the ninth house, and let me show the chart. Uh, is that a pregnant woman? Yeah, it looks like a pregnant woman in a full moon. And yeah, something's weird. Somebody pregnant. Or does it just describe the profile of somebody very well known who was pregnant at that time? Pregnancy is Pluto. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to go to the progressed chart again. Weird how, let's look at, there's still like really, like she has two T squares in her solar chart. That is a very, I mean, I shouldn't even talk about her year because we know how the year went, but this is a very challenging chart and it's pointed to the eighth house. This is jealousy too. This is a very jealous woman that, I don't know, jealous and angry. Look, Venus and Aries, and she's hurt about something. Okay. So if we look, I wonder if I could get something. The eighth house is so important. This is the murderer. So that would be an Aries. That would be the ascendant for him. So we look to Mars as the first house for the murder. We could do it that way. And Jupiter's there. So that, I think it might show that this person had a fight with a boyfriend somewhere or was angry with that person. And 11th house, this is friends. A bunch of people knew each other. It's the friend's house. Moon rules the friend's house. And it's right there with that famous woman. So the famous woman knows this community and she's well known in the community. According to this, I'm not trying to make anything up. And, I guess I kind of want to know, I've really pushed back on saying anything about the sorority or the frat boys or anything like that. But I think I would like to draw a card for the fraternities. Like, I want to know if they're like 100% innocent in this. Is there something that we don't know about the frat, the frat community? Oh, he does? That was a shock. I had never seen that card before. So, I know it is. Yep. Yeah, so we're not, of course, saying anything about Kopaka, but weird that he would have the Gemini. We always talk about how there's so much Gemini in this, and he would have the same initials as Koberger. Okay, so we're going to do we're going to draw a card about the fraternity. How about that? Is there something that we need to know that so far is secret about the fraternities and this murder case? Okay. Okay, here we go. Another woman, the high priestess. are we getting all these women? So could this be maybe something sorority related? High priestess, upright, tapping into her third eye. She's got a handkerchief on. Green that's Gemini. And oh my God, look, she's got red hair. Again, another confirmation. I think we need to start doing some more research. Not that we're going to go and point fingers. Shelley, you're being cautious, and I appreciate that. You don't think it's the Ramslin. Okay, good to know. Yeah, I know. And we don't want it to be that way, but we're sort of just reviewing the charts. It's not so much about, this terrible murder. It's like we just want to get down to the bottom of it. And it's absolutely fascinating that these cards and these charts are trying to tell us something. The crown chakra knows. We've been getting some crowns. And is that a moon too? Yeah, I know. We had Linda, I think you went to Moscow. I forgot to ask you about that. 4 stars. The moon. Yeah. Shelley, it's so funny. Leos are very creative but they have reddish hair too. We are talking to some serious fire signs. So it's going to be interesting to see. We'll go back on this, look through this show and see if anything had anything to do with what's going to come up in the next 6 months. That's right, Heather. Thank you for saying that. I will, Taurus 16. That's good. And in fact, I already have an Ethan prediction out. You can see that. But I really didn't look at his the month by month prediction. So maybe I can work that into a show. Yes. And oh, wow. You guys are really, hold on one second. Yes. King Road. Yeah. So we're getting so much Leo here. I mean, we haven't heard of the mountain yet. So is there a mountain involved? Fallon, there is a red-haired girl and lots of sorority party pics with the girls. We never see her, but there was some channel that focused on her a bit. They were wondering who she is. Well, I think we need to figure this out. I don't want to target anybody, but we can secretly check it out, I think. Okay, Isabel, maybe you can say it in in code or something. Yeah. You can't really come out. TJ's like, yes. What? Wow. Interesting. Okay. It wouldn't surprise me. Maybe they've got a clue in the mountains because, like I said, in the early part of this show, Pat Tillman, he's giving us some clues since it was that same energy as Maddie Mogen when she was born. And so much army and a lot of fire signs. There was a lot of shooting and war and that. So I wonder if she was born into that energy. So there, yes, exactly, Angel D. Okay. Thank you, Bubbly. All right. I think we're good for now. Hit the like button if you can, if you like this show. And I'm going to be back this week, probably tomorrow. And we're going to take another look. Probably, I want to look at Koberger's prediction. I didn't really look at his prediction before when it came to the month by month of his solar chart. I'll have to check though. So we might be discussing him tomorrow. And always love Angel D. I always love your input. Some of the stuff I'm always learning from you guys. So I'm glad. Thank you, Chloe with the flow. Well, we should probably pick another card then. Let's see. What do you guys, you're going to have to give me a question. What are you thinking? Boise, Nicola. Yes. Uh, is this? Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know you were so close, TJ. All right. So Fallon doesn't want me to stop either. Okay. All right. So then let's go back to this is Pat Tillman's chart. It's amazing, isn't it? With that Mars there, all of that army stuff. He had Sag too. He had Pluto, which is a homicide, in Sagittarius, which would be a foreign land where he was killed. 18 there in his, this is the event chart for when he signed up for the army. So there would be evil people there around him. And his vehicle would be stopped there. Saturn in Mercury. Ascendant would be Leo, that would take center stage. He was in the middle of the mountains. His assignment was called Operation Mountaintop, or whatever I said before. And then all of this Uranus energy, and that was a complete shock, complete interruption. And when, by the way, you're looking at an event chart, this was kind of like what I would call a job chart. When you go into a job, you look at the seventh house, it's of a contract. And if it's in Uranus, that usually means that the contract will be cut, it will be interrupted, which this was. So kind of nuts. So let me go back to her birth chart real quick. And I want to know, see, look at how there's Venus in Aries. This is a redhead here in the ninth house. And it forms this huge grand trine with Pluto here. There's somebody that's a female that's involved here. She knew there's somebody who knows. What does this woman know? Spirit, tell us, what does this person know? That's what I would like to know. Oh, shoot, you guys didn't see me mark that up. Okay, hold on. You see that grand trine? Look at that Venus at the top there in Aries. That's a woman with red hair. This is her birth chart with Pluto down there that's in the square in Sagittarius. That's a homicide in a college, which is Sagittarius College. Okay. Who do you want to visit in jail? Okay. Okay, were any targeted due to their parents being involved in the crime? You know what I noticed? I noticed that a lot of people target Kara, which was Xana's mom, and talk about her drug use, but there were other people who had drug use troubles, and they aren't in the news as much as Kara. So is that my imagination, and is that correct? I don't know. Okay. All right. So I guess the question is, what does this redhead know? What does she know? All right. What does she know that we don't? 10 of Swords. That's intense. What do you guys think about the 10 of Swords? Yeah, they've all been in trouble. Heather, you're starting to piece some things together. 10 Swords, she wants to walk away. Yes, ending. You think why they died. Okay. She knew why. Okay. That's very sad. Okay, so then she doesn't necessarily have anything going on with, There's no motive there. She wasn't part of it. She wasn't an accomplice. I know. I don't know about that. That's a whole other show. What's on her head? Are you talking about this one? 10 of Swords? Nothing. She's wearing a bikini and she's got 10 black birds. Looks like she's in the desert. I don't know. Yeah, Fallon forced owner to give up 1122 by an investment toward by attorney in Moscow. Oof. Gosh, of course, this is all allegedly and for entertainment purposes, and I'm hoping we're not upsetting anyone, but we're just trying to get to the truth here. Maddie's mom has strawberry blonde hair. I think she might be featured in this trial. I think that we're going to be seeing her, and she's going to be up front and center from what we saw with the Leda County charts in the other show that we did. So it's very sad. All right. Well, I've got to run. I'm going to see you guys tomorrow. And definitely check out my Instagram at Forensic Astrologer. I'm always posting stuff on there showing you the different symbols of astrology and how they, I was just doing one on Tom Cruise today, which was pretty interesting. He was jumping up all over the place. And so I was showing his birth chart and why he does that. So it's pretty interesting. Definitely check it out. And again, hit the like button if you like this show, and we will see you tomorrow. Probably around 5 p.m. Eastern. So see you then. Thanks everybody for tuning in, and I'll talk to you soon.